Greetings and welcome back, everybody. We're here on another session number 56, The Star Scientist Part 5 with Michael in Germany, and the Science is the New Religion script. And today we have the 16th of October, 2021. And Michael, I'm just trying to wake up over here. I was up pretty late last night and went to drive some hours yesterday visiting my mother, and glad to be back home and glad to be on the internet with you this morning. And I'm sure you're having a busy afternoon, Michael. Welcome back.
Yeah, hello Brett, hello dear listeners. I instead had a very busy day because I had to get up at 6 in the morning for a special occasion. But yeah, you see, we have to serve the Lord. It's the Sabbath day. It's not Saturday. It's not the day of Saturn.
Michael,
it's
yes.
Sabbath.
Yeah, yes, so and that's kind of one of these things that, as a doing historical researches and having to do with the Book of Revelation and having to do with the incredible story in the Bible and dealing with the seventh day, it just, a lot of people are very confused these days what the Sabbath actually is. But I don't know, to me it's real simple. I think, Michael, you have the same convictions as far as I can tell.
Yes, but we have far worse origin, because that since I think the 1970s there is a mandatory law that the week starts on Monday, so Sunday is here the official day of rest. According
Isn't
to
that something? And when we read the Bible in the book of Daniel, it says, let me just quick look that up here. He will think to change the times and the laws, speaking of the Antichrist. Yeah, what do we see? We see a very troubled world today. I mean, where do you even start with this? It's incredible.
I just researched it, and I just got the information that in United States, Canada, and I think also in Japan, it's just the week starts on Sunday. So if you speak about Sunday laws, and many people of SDA whom we are not in any way, shape or form not are related to, they actually fear any Sunday laws, and actually in a strange kind of way they're in Europe quite normal. So in Europe, when you tell somebody that the week starts on Sunday, they look very strange at you, as if you have not passed the elementary school.
Well, Michael, it's interesting. I learned about the Seventh-Day Adventists years ago, and at first I thought I really found something with that, with their teachings, because they teach some things that I've never heard before, and quite frankly I thought fit really well. But the thing is that, when you look at the history behind the origins of Seventh-Day Adventism, you find out about the Great Disappointment in 1844.
Quite literally.
And yeah, so I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it, but the Lutheran Church isn't so great. So why would the Seventh-Day Adventist Church be all that great? I mean, it's one thing to talk about denominations, but it's entirely something to just talk about the Bible and talk about the prophecies in the Bible, like Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change times and laws. Bam! He thinks he can change times and laws. He does. We're speaking of this beast government that's being run by the little horn of Daniel here. And yeah, I mean, nothing's changed, Michael.
I think the SDA is just a promotion tool, a little bit for distraction. I think the most positive thing of the SDA is they got really good teachers. Two of them come into my mind. Oh no, I forgot the name.
Well, here's the thing: is you have the remnant SDA people that are no longer affiliated with the mainstream SDA, which is obviously just as ecumenical as the Lutheran Church, for God's sakes, people have to walk away from all that churchianity and realize that we've been deceived. All of us have been deceived in these denominations. There's no denomination that's right, Michael. I'm sorry, there isn't. They're all wrong. They're all going along with ecumenism. That's absurd. Ecumenism is just going right back to the hierarchy. And that's the problem. It's a problem with the hierarchy, not the lay people. You know?
But the thing is, though, that there are so many flaws in the SDA philosophy.
Yeah, but Michael, look, it's just as simple as this. It's just as simple as this. If we study our Bible and we know our scriptures, then no one can deceive us. And that's really what it's about. It's about knowing your Bible well enough.
I find that very strange that sometimes we are being accused of being SDA or promoting SDA.
I don't care. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Fine. Call me whatever you want. Call me Tom likes to say chicken soup, you know.
I was born.
I don't care.
I was born Roman Catholic. I could not change it because I was a newborn. I was born Roman Catholic, and I quit the Roman Catholic system when I was 24 or something like that. 24, 25, something around that. But I never got into any kind of church or circle or order or something like this. Everything.
Well, some of us have, Michael. I've been a part of this Lutheran debacle for a long time, and it wasn't till I really sobered up spiritually. And, you know, I had a problem. I had many problems, but I never really paid attention to, you know, what the church was doing until I got old enough to really be able to handle it in a position in my life where I could look at things clearly. And, you know, a lot of us, I think, Michael, are growing up in areas where you don't have a lot of space to think for yourself. You're constantly bombarded with problems in the family, problems with school, problems with work, problems with marriage, problems with children, problems everywhere you look.
I think in general, you see that people want to please people and not God. That's the major thing. They want to be emphasized in the society. They want to be regarded. They want to make it in this world. You see, that's the problem. Yeah. So their orientation is on the mass media to please the masses of people and not on truth. They don't care about the truth because the truth only gets them into trouble in this world. Yeah. And so I'm just let me state you once and for all, I never was in any kind, shape, way, form whatsoever related to any order, church, denomination, or whatsoever. All my research I did independently. I met several interesting people, and I'm not affiliated with somebody, and I don't take a dime of anybody. I'm just doing it here to please the one, the only creator, the Lord God. This is the only thing, the only force that's actually driving me. It's just the truth. It is not that we are doing something out of commercial interest or something like that. It is just the truth. It is Sabbath here, and it's so sad that people nowadays think that the Sabbath is only regarded to a Jewish belief system. They don't have actually no way recognizing that in the Bible it is ordained that there is some day of rest to remember the creation. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But please, let's go into the script, because I like to get away with the star scientist, because this is the last episode. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
I don't want to cut you short. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
No. We went into that more than enough.
Okay. Yeah,
No
so
need to go any
you can accuse me of anything. Yeah, I can tell you that I cannot do other but to go to the truth, and I'm just only interested in the truth. And if somebody from any denomination comes out with something interesting or with the truth, then it's the truth, regardless of the mindset of anybody. I don't care.
Yeah, Michael, it's really that simple. Either you're a false prophet or you're telling us the truth. You can't
Yeah.
be both. It's one or the other, you know?
Yeah, but I don't care if I got a source from the SDA or if I got the source from a Jewish encyclopedia, or I got the source from his occult teachings. Yeah, you see, I don't care as long as I can find the valuable information which leads me to the truth. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so I don't care. I don't shoot the messenger. Also, yeah, I'm only interested in truth and to be of service to the people, to the listeners out there. Yeah, that's the only thing which would make me happy, if there's somebody there is really awakening and said, "Oh, I thought I was awakened, but then I stumbled upon your sessions, and then I found to the King James Bible, and then I compared everything else which they taught me in my denomination or in my order, in my sect, in my whatsoever." Yeah, and gladfully I quitted all this thing, and I was just on the narrow path. Yeah, and so that would make me happy if somebody could contribute something that, according to the things that we have pointed out, that somebody was being interested in your family. Please post it in the comment section. Please tell us if this information of all the 55 sessions before were of some use for you, that you could found somebody in your family, in your friends, among your friends or so, that could benefit from it. That really would matter. That really would matter. That if that really we see there had been some impact, and so you should have some valuable information. So this is the last part of the star scientists. The scientists are busy with the stars, and who could it be other than that guy? Galileo. We talked about him in brief last time, and I decided to have an intermediate episode on this to go to the next big thing coming up, which is, yeah, you have to wait until the next session, actually, because Brad doesn't like it when I spoil things or to have a cliffhanger.
You go ahead, Michael. It's your session.
Ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. You spoil it if you feel it's necessary.
No, I don't spoil it, you see, but you see that there is also a certain time, yeah. You know, according to Ecclesiastics, yeah, 3, there is a time to die, a time to be born,
yes.
time
all
to mourn,
things.
a time to have
for
joy.
All things. That's right.
Yeah, and you see that in history also, there's a time for the alchemy, there's a time for the star scientists, for the astronomers. There is a time for this, there is a time for that. Yeah, you see, and now we are small snakes. We are leaving the time when they have broadly accepted the heliocentric system. So once again, 1 Timothy 6:20, Brad.
Yes, and it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called.
Yeah. She blinded me with science. If she is the apostate church, then the church blinded Thomas Dolby with science. It is not necessarily a woman. Somebody of mankind, something personal or so. It could also be an organization. The organization blinded him and everybody else with science, because you see that if you got an older, wise-looking guy, maybe also with a long beard and with a smoking, and also with a suit, and with many books looking like a library, people actually think that, oh, it could be a smart guy or a wise guy. Not smart, something else. So blinding somebody with science means blind someone to confuse by the use of big works or complex explanations. So the more complex, the better. Isn't that the current situation in 2021 out there? So once again, this is Mr. Galileo di Vincenzo Buonaiuti de Galilei. So that's not the actual name of Winston Smith. Yeah, I know that's a character of 1984, but just or John Doe. Yeah. So you see that these are once again a scientist of not a poor heritage. He was an astronomer of Italy, of course, physicist and engineer, one of the most influential scientists of all time. That does not necessarily mean that he spoke the truth, Brad. Mm-hmm. You can be one of the most influential politics of all times, and necessarily you can be a peep, peep, peep.
In other words, we can lead you off into this particular, shall we say, ideology, Michael?
If she blinds you with science, if the church blinds you with science, and Galileo is one of the most influential scientists of all, then Galileo is one of the most influential clergies of all time. It's so simple, actually. We know that the church is blinding us with science, or science so-called. Because if there is an apostate church, and 1 Timothy warns us of science so-called, then what do you think is the apostate church using? She's using false science to blind people, to lead them astray with the use of big words and complex explanations. So when there is one guy in a satanic system, which gets famous in a satanic system, it is one of the most influential scientists of all time in the satanic system. Then you please use your logic. What is truth and what is lie? Galilei had been called the, quote, father of observational astronomy, the father of modern physics, the father of the scientific methods, and the father of modern science, unquote. You see that even by this just short introduction here, we would not need anything else. If there is one of the most influential science of all time, I have a very, very bitter taste in my mouth when it comes down to Galileo. And we have talked about him extensively, or more extensively in the last session, so I'll make it very short. He studied speed, velocity, gravity, and free fall. Gravity is soon coming up. It's another thing. And describing properties of pendulums and balances, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. Galileo championing or favors the Copernican heliocentrism, so the Earth rotating daily and revolving around the Sun, of course, met with opposition from within the Catholic Church. That is on the outside. Yeah, I have to highlight it here because last time we talked about it. I highly doubt that, because you know that both the Roman Catholic Church as well as the Jesuits, which were active in the time, because Jesuits were set in power in 1540, so they were just in full swing when Galileo showed up. Yes, and he studied in the Vallombrosa Academy, I think, or monastery, sorry, which was, I think it was Benedictine first and then became Jesuit later. And the Jesuits also made some other things, and we will soon go into this. But just let me assure you that according to my research, Galileo just was playing the patsy. Yeah, oh, he's to blame. But actually, this system was far more older from Copernicus, attributed by Copernicus and added with some additional calculation, etc., explanations, etc., and actually goes back to Greece and even beyond. Greece and even beyond. So, where to start actually? Yeah, you see, Galileo comes from Latin Galileos, meaning of Galileo, a biblically significant region in northern Israel. Yeah? Galileo had been used in antiquity, particularly by Emperor Julian, to refer to Christ and his followers. Yeah, but now comes the big gut. Yeah, in Acts 1:11, man of Galileo. I don't look it up in the King James Bible because I really don't think that we have to use so much time about this. Because despite being a generally pious Roman Catholic, Galileo fathered 3 children out of wedlock with Marina Gamba. Well, what to say about this guy? Yeah, he was a Roman Catholic. So he was not in the Holy Spirit. At least. That's the least I can say about it. I'm not judging anybody, because you see that we have to know them by the fruits. Yeah, we have to know them by the fruits. Galileo seriously considered the priesthood as a young man. Yeah, but his father urged he instead enrolled in the University of Pisa, that's with the uneven tower, for a medical degree. When he was studying medicine, he noticed a swinging chandelier, which air currents shifting about to swing in larger and smaller arcs. When he returned home, he set up two pendulums of equal length and swung one with a large sweep and the other with a small sweep, and found that they kept time together. It was not until the work of Christian Huygens, almost 100 years later, that the tautochrone nature of a swinging pendulum was used to create an accurate timepiece. Yeah, that's the grandfather's clock. It will also soon come up. Yeah, just to let you know that I didn't forget Galileo, but I think in my research, I think that Galileo was just a kind of front organization for the things to come, that people had to be convinced about the heliocentric system. His observations were confirmed by the observatory of Christopher Clavius. That is one, I just want to say, one hell of a guy. He was one heck of a Jesuit scientist, and he received a hero's welcome when he visited Rome in 1611. Interesting, huh? Interesting. Oh, there is much more coming up. But once again, Galileo is a smart guy, absolutely for sure. But on the other hand, he's Roman Catholic, and so therefore he does not do it for the truth, but just he was doing his thing, and he wanted to become worldwide renowned scientists. And in that time, you see that he was in touch with Johannes Kepler. Yeah, and all these people. He made some very valuable calculations, but the problem is that we do not know, because he studied as a Jesuit monastery, we do not know how many part of his work is attributed to himself and how many is about his teachers. And that's the same thing I discovered with many scientists we also did in the past, also occultists we did in the past. It is that much of highly unlikely that a man on the age of 22, 23 is putting up works and writing books which stands out hundreds of years later, without the help of somebody who has presented to him the knowledge. So to combine the dots. And so we are very sure that one very famous German scientist at the name of Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, with the occult philosophy, was being supported, quote unquote, supported by many people. Yeah, so these people, they only lent their name to put out doctrines, to put out theories, and to smile into the camera, or to look into the people and to make a stand and say, okay, that's my theory, and now I have to live with it. Because Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, as well as this Galileo, they weren't put to death. Because usually, if they would be seen as a heretic, their fate would that they would be tortured to death or killed. But they didn't. The church didn't. And I think that's a strong hint that there is something to it. Especially if you know that from Agrippa and also from Galileo, they afterwards very famous people and have some kind of protection, so that they don't have to go to jail, they don't have to be tortured, and they won't not put to death. So that you shall get into thinking about that. You see that other people were killed for lesser heretics, let me say this. Galileo considered. Well, Cardinal Bellarmine, Jesuit, had written in
here's a very interesting little factoid, isn't it, Michael? And that Cardinal Bellarmine was wasn't he a high Jesuit?
Yeah, look at his title. Yeah, look at his title, Cardinal Bellarmine. I will look it up for you.
Yeah.
Robert Bellarmine, Cardinal Bellarmine, and Robert Cardinal Bellarmine. Wow. Yeah, so that's him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Was born into a naval family in Tuscany. 50-60, he joined the Jesuit order and began his studies at the Collegio Romano, the Jesuit college in Rome. After finishing his courses of studies there and studying Thomistic theology, Thomas, at the University of Padua, Bellarmine became the first Jesuit professor at the University of Louvain in Belgium in 1569 and was ordained as a priest the following year. Yeah. In 1576, Bellarmine was called back to Rome by Pope Gregory XIII to teach theology to English and German missionaries at the Collegio Romano. He taught there until 1588. Yeah. And now, think of one of the supporters of Galileo as Robert Cardinal Bellarmine.
That would make sense because the Jesuits are always at the cutting edge of these kinds of things.
And the Jesuits, they were busy with the Inquisition as well, and they didn't put Galileo. They put him to trial. Yeah, okay. Yeah, to put somebody on trial with a heretic theory means that this heretic theory becomes popular. It's propaganda, Brett.
For sure. Yeah.
It's propaganda, yeah. So they promote this idea. They take the blame, but you see that also in I think in advertisement it says that even bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, Michael, I don't know if you've covered the word propaganda yet.
Yeah, I did
that the other day, and there's a constant reminder to all our listeners. We're not the be all and end all of all knowledge on earth here. You have to study the origins of these things, Michael. Etymology Dictionary Online has become a very good source, isn't it?
Yeah, 7018, Committee of Cardinals in charge of foreign missions. Missions is Jesuit of the Catholic Church. Short for Congregatio de Propaganda Fide, congregation for propagating the faith, whatever that is.
Yeah,
the Committee
of Cardinals established in 1622 by Gregory XV to supervise foreign missions.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah,
missions, Jesuit missions, yes.
Yeah, and that actually I have to submit, and that's not far-fetched. You see, when I read that it was a certain Cardinal Bellarmine, I came up with the idea of propaganda because I knew what propaganda means. You see, a committee of cardinals. Yeah, as you see, it is not only a foreign mission with the heliocentric system; it is a worldwide mission. It is a worldwide mission to propagate. Or to promote.
Don't they have a something in Rome called the College of Cardinals also? Yeah.
Oh, I found something, and I think that is included in the script here because I know that the two of us talked about it at the beginning of the week. That I found something.
Oh, yes.
Will be implemented here quite later. Yeah.
Great. Okay, well, I'll let you get back into
No, that's no problem. So we know that this Jesuit cardinal had written in 1615 that the Copernican system could not be defended without a true physical demonstration that the sun does not circle the earth, but the earth circles the sun. That does mean it still contradicts the Bible. I know that modern popes say, no, it does not contradict the Bible. Yeah, I mean, for several reasons, because the Catholic Church system is a sun-worshipping system. Yeah, they have Sunday as their holy day. Come on,
yeah,
how hard must it be? Yeah, so it was of good value that we talked about the Seventh-Day Adventists in the beginning. Yeah, so we come back to the full circle, to the Sunday, to the day of the sun. Yeah.
Right. Right. Well, and look, you got to have a an adversary in the world, and you know, if it can serve a Jesuit purpose, then the end justifies the means, Michael.
He didn't say that is absolutely out of discussion because it would contradict the Bible, the Cardinal Bellarmine. No, the Jesuit Cardinal Bellarmine said, we need a true physical demonstration. Yeah, that's actually it. In other words, you can also assume that he meant, or it has been meant here, that the Cardinal says, okay, to make the people believe in that system, we need a physical proof. Who could provide it? You see? That's actually, I think, the real meaning of the sentence here. They had to come up, they had the doctrine already with the Copernican, and they needed somebody to come up with calculations and science, so-called, by the use of big words and complex explanations by the man of the name of Galileo. And he came up with the theory of the tides to provide this evidence and all the other things. Yeah, and so they needed physical evidence, or they needed evidence from science, so-called. Because when your main assumption is wrong, what do you expect of some scientists who are trying to back it up with other theories? Yeah, if the root is rotten, if the root is unbiblical, of course, other people go on that path are also unbiblical. You know what we talked about, having 3 children and being a Roman Catholic, etc., etc. These people have absolutely no problem with that. The only thing they want to do is getting famous or to make it in this world. Yeah, so I'm just sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to skip it here, because if you don't get it, that the Roman Catholic system is the counterpart to the real Bible, then is the Antichrist system. Yeah, then it has no use to prove it with 120 quotes of somebody. You really have to.
It's far more subtle than just being the opposite of Christ. It's actually replacing Christ, replacing the doctrine of Christ, replacing the testimony of Christ.
Yeah, that too.
Replacing all of it. That's what the Antichrist is. It's not it is a direct opposition, but not on the face. It's all vain. It's vanity. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, Michael, please.
It's just that we have talked about Galileo, which monastery he visited, etc., and what kind of system the Jesuits and Roman Catholic Church are. And I hate being repetitious, because it's just yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of science to cover here, isn't there, Michael?
Yeah, and even that article, which I found not by accident, is not available in English on the English Wikipedia. So I copied it from the German, means de for Deutschland, means Germany, from the German Wikipedia, and retranslated into English. I was very surprised that this papal bull ad decorem meditantis ecclesia from 1475. Yeah, this is a little bit before the Jesuits. Yeah, from the Pope Sixtus.
You're talking about the papal bull.
Yeah.
For the library.
Yeah, it is the same. It is the same.
This is the library in the Vatican, right?
Yes, this is the library of the Vatican.
The Vatican Library. Okay.
Yeah, so I got here. This is the
built bull for it.
Yeah, yeah,
and it sounds almost like the church militant here.
We are just copying this, and later on I had the same train of thoughts. Let me show you. This is just the English explanation of it. Yeah, because it is about science. It is about knowledge. They didn't have compact discs. They didn't have USB sticks. They didn't have so-called computers or hard disk drive. They just had to write it down on scripts, on rolls, on books, on whatever, on clay tablets. I don't care. Yeah, but they had to write.
Well, Michael, of all things, I was visiting Rome in 1989, and we were there at the Vatican Library. I have photos to prove it. So, yeah, it's not a place that I would ever want to go back to, Michael, knowing what I know today. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that this papal bull
is wicked.
As Martin Luther said.
Yeah.
So this papal bull with this strange familiar sounding name, has been put in place in 1475. This is the Google Translator German to English translation. With the papal bull Ad Decorem Militantis Ecclesiae, Latin, to adorn the warring church of June 1475, sorry, Pope Sixtus IV promulgated.
That's a long time ago, isn't it?
Promulgated the legal basis. You're very much awake today. Pope Sixtus IV promulgated the legal basis for today's Vatican Apostolic Library. With this founding bull, the institution founded by Pope Nicholas V as a reading room received the status of an institution under papal law. So it is also being protected under papal law. The library is not intended to shape the church and spread the faith. So the library is not only intended for the artistic development of the church and for the spread of the faith. Not intended, and then for the spread of the faith, a little bit contradiction here, but rather it should preserve the achievements of the scholars and be made accessible to the new scholars, thereby further developing their usefulness. I said, oh my, this is, for me, it's always almost a contradiction here. Yeah, they have 3 libraries, 3 rooms. 2 rooms for the public library, or bibliotheca, which are divided into the Latin bibliotheca and the Greek bibliotheca. The 3rd room should contain a so-called bibliotheca secreta, or private library, known today as the secret archive. Oh, hope there are no snakes in the room. Yeah. As a second important regulation, the Pope orders that a staff should be provided. They should act as management and functional staff and be rewarded accordingly. He appoints Bartolomeo Platina as the first librarian, etc. 3rd, the Pope decides that the library should be open to registered students and scholars, should be made accessible, etc., etc. So this is a bull of 1475. Yeah, this is the text. To adorn the warring church and to spread the faith. Which faith? For the benefit pro communi doctorum virum commodo, for the benefit and general interest of scientists. Oh, aren't we in science is the new science is the new Oh, I was very up. Well, it was very early. I was up early. My. Yeah, you see that if you have so less sleep. Okay, so for the benefit and general interest of scientists. Oh, aren't we in is science a new religion here? Yeah. So I have copied the papal bull of 1475. Okay. Now compare that, please. What a strange coincidence, huh? So this is a library, huh? Don't mix it up, please. This is a library, and these are the Jesuits.
And these are both papal bulls, by the way.
And these are both papal bulls, yeah.
That's right. These are Latin titles for the papal bulls. Yes.
Yeah, this is for 1540. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. So let's decorate our military.
Yeah, so this is, you see that for the benefit and general interest of scientists. Yeah, I can also copy this. And what else do you need to know that the Jesuits are behind the science? It is not a professional script for book printing or so, but you see that, compare the things, please. The Jesuits took over the Inquisition. And now comes somebody like Copernicus. Okay, he was dead very soon afterwards. He published the things. And somebody like Galileo, and he wasn't condemned. He was in the way that he was tortured, and the way that he was killed or so. No. He was just being used as a front, in my humble opinion. So these are the Jesuits. Regimini militantis ecclesiae. So this is the regime of the militant church. At this moment, I don't care about, oh no, Latin provides something else and explanations. The regime change, huh? Regime, militantis is military and ecclesia is church. or church-like, church-related. So what is it here? This is the military regime of the church, and 65 years before, they promoted and published a bull about the library in Rome, serving their science of the sun system, as you actually see here in the system, and on the symbolism of the society of the Jesuits. Maybe we should call it this way, huh? That would actually be the truth, huh? Wouldn't that be the truth? I think so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and they did also this papal bull. They did also then took over the Inquisition from the Dominicans, if I remember correctly. And also they have a kind of spiritual exercises, so that to get in touch with the spiritual world. Yeah. Who needs to be in contact and in touch with the spiritual world? Somebody who needs an inspiration, huh? Because inspiration, yeah, I know that we got this side, inspiration.
Well, inspiration from Acts chapter 8.
Yeah. So
be sure, dear listener, you know where it comes from. It's from Acts chapter 8. And study it thoroughly and know it and confront your pastors about it, because they don't teach it. Oh, it makes me so upset. Makes me so upset.
The problem is that Acts are so been rarely read.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we did a study on this. Yeah.
Very important study too.
Yeah. So this Simon the sorcerer. Simon used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria. I'm sorry, I didn't want to overrule you or so, but just
no. Please. That's great. That's perfect. Yeah. No, that's
So get back to the origin of their inspiration, because every artist, every inventor, every scientist, they need inspiration, because they need something to be in their mind that they can, I got an idea, yeah, some famous, and most of the people are using actually drugs to enhance their sensibility, quote unquote, or their inspiration, quote unquote, or their imagination, quote unquote. And this is also, you cannot think of yourself, yeah, you need a brain for that, you need a mind, you need to reason, you need you need a vision, you need something of an input, and inspiration comes from the immediate influence of God or a God. Interesting, huh? This quote, God or a God. So a big God with a big G or a small God with a small G, Brad. Isn't that fine? Somebody who is more or less initiated, he knows the difference, but the general public says, oh yeah, well, I don't care, it's just a God. If it is a Hindu God or don't know, yeah, somebody else, thousands of gods out there.
Spirit of Antichrist, Michael.
Yeah.
Right.
Under which the holy books were written, from Old French inspiration, from Latin inspiratione, in spirit, yeah, in spirit, yeah. Inspiration means in the spirit. Not against flesh and blood.
Oh, yeah.
Ephesians 6:12. Yeah, not Timothy. Yeah, okay. Ephesians 6:12. Yeah. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness in the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And these are evil spirits here. Spiritual wickedness. Yeah, spiritual. Yes. Against evil inspiration. Yeah, please compare this verse, spiritual wickedness in high places, with the explanation from spirit. Can be also a demon. So when spirit can be an evil angel or fallen angel or a demon, yeah, so then you got here against the demons, fallen angels, wickedness, evil things in high places. This is the sky, actually.
Yeah, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. To withstand in the evil day. Oh, Michael, it seems to me that we are coming upon an evil day today.
Oh, today? Oh no, don't have any sense in having an evil day today. This is Sabbath.
No, but I mean,
yeah, no.
in the sense of the big picture,
Net.
we are all witnessing in different countries and in different instances the rise of this beast power, which is our government, which is tyrannical at the moment. And it's a soft kind of tyranny. They're taking away the old order of things and giving us some other doctrine and saying, oh, now you need to do this and now you need to mandate. Well, where did mandates come from? From Roman law. I mean, it all comes back, doesn't it? It all comes home to roost. And yeah.
Yes, you see, general spirits, they can also be evil spirits.
That's right.
Spiritual exercises does not say in divine exercises or Jesus Christ exercises. No, it is just spiritual exercises. Yeah, and so if you take over if you take over the Inquisition, where you kill people, although it has been condemned in the 10 Commandments not to kill.
And listen to this. A good spirit can bring love, joy, peace, but also desolation. What? Ah, boy.
Yeah, an evil spirit brings confusion and doubt. Yeah. She blinded you with science, huh? Used by the use of big words. Sorry for my English today. Okay, so that is just what you see, that it's just the same thing with Jesuitical science, yeah? That leads you astray. That's
very much
soul
so.
and sole purpose.
This is it's really bottomless pit, Michael.
Yeah, but you see that once again, you have to remember that all the scientists, they need an inspiration. They need a spirit to accompany them, to give them the ideas. And the evil side, Satan, is using these so-called scientists, people who want to make it big in the world, who want to be famous and rich and have all the power. Yeah, you see that Satan gives them their knowledge. That's the thing. And the people think that, oh, I have invented something, and they do not realize that there are no inventors. It is just that spirits show up and they gave them the idea, and then man or scientists or politicians or what else, they worked it out. Now that's the thing, that nobody knows, that nobody realized it actually. I think that in the higher circles of science, so-called, people are very aware of that, and they try to enhance their spirituality by use of meditation, yoga, drugs, etc. You see, this is what actually that Carey Mullis described in his book, where he described the invention of the PCR amplification method, dancing naked in the mind field. He explained it that he was using LSD frequently. Yeah, these people use, I just wanted to point out, you see that here the sun symbol, here also with the symbol, astrological symbol of the Libra. I haven't got into this, it's also very interesting here on the spiritual exercises. But Libra has been dominated by Venus, the planet Venus, and he was a Mary worshipper. You see that I would have to look it up. It's just that I realize it now here out of a sudden. We cannot go into everything, every nitty-gritty here.
Oh, but they are influences, and it has to do with mysticism, Michael, which is very interesting. You bring that up.
Yeah, but you have that also here as meditation, as a world service. I'm sorry, this is the German part of it.
Oh, wow.
This is Lucy's Trust. Yeah, you see that's why they are all promoting meditation nowadays. Yeah, also this guy who has been invited by the Vatican. What's his name again? Deepak Chopra. You see Vatican. Deepak Chopra. Yeah, Vatican Conference, the clinical professor of family medicine and public health at the University of California, etc., etc. And he's into spiritual things. So he is the spiritual advisor of Lady Gaga, for example, or the spiritual advisors of Michael Jackson. Yeah, a non-profit entity for research of well-being and humanitarianism. And that sounds also nice today. Yeah, but actually, what he is, he's conjuring spirits. That's what he actually does. I can show you one picture of Michael Jackson and him. Michael Jackson, you see, he was being invited by the Vatican. Huh? I came across that when I did Lady Gaga in German. Michael Jackson, Deepak Chopra. Yeah, then you have one thing. Yeah, you see, one picture tells it all, doesn't it? Understanding Deepak Chopra's biofields. You know what they're up to, huh? This yogi hopping, yeah, elevation, levitation, etc. Yeah, this is all also Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga needed Deepak Chopra. I just don't. Yeah, this is two of them. Yeah, if you go into this, yeah, you know what Deepak Chopra actually means. Yeah, Gagapedia, all the world is a stage here. Yeah, he writes on Ayurveda, spirituality. Sure, yeah, it's like spiritual exercises and mind-body medicine. Yeah, this guy is very, very famous in the United States. Lady Gaga says, the most influential person in my life is Deepak Chopra. He means so much to many people all over the world. All the various books that he has written and his messages are true inspiration in spirit. He has spiritual laws, can affect their lives, etc., 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 etc.
Spirit of Antichrist.
The spirit of Antichrist, yeah. Yeah, he's got biofields. Yeah, if you look upon his publishing habits. Deepak Chopra, it's a celebrity. Yeah, he's very famous for Deepak Chopra. Wikipedia. Wikipedia, there it is. He's been invited by the Vatican. This quantum healing.
Huh.
Studied medicine in India, became a chief.
Someone else that was invited by the Vatican to display 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, transcendental meditation. Yeah, all the things which are being promoted even by the state. The state is pushing the agenda. The German state, for example, is pushing this meditation psychology agenda also. They finance that. If you got a psychological problem here in Germany, they finance that. They do not finance vitamin C and etc. Yeah, but they do finance this. Of course, it's all the same system, in the same system. In the same system. It's pseudoscience. Yeah, that's what it is. Science so called. No? What better term than pseudoscience? No? Yeah, and he's also into spirituality and religion, quantum zones, biopowers, brains hardwired to know God. Jida Krishnamurti, yeah. Annie Besant. Theosophy, everything mixed up together here. Everything mixed together here. Yeah. And I think that Lady Gaga hired him to get rid of her demons. And if I remember correctly, is that Deepak Chopra told her, oh, just act it out on stage. Act your dreams out on stage. If it would not be so sad for the people who are under this yoke, it would be funny, but it is not funny. Yeah. Lady Gaga, demons, Deepak. The devil is trying to take me. Lady Gaga gets counseling. Yeah, and now that is also propaganda. Yeah, over dreams. Yeah, thousands of advertisements. Yes, thousands of advertisements. Yeah. I told Deepak the dream was so terrifying I thought somehow that the devil force was trying to take hold of me. He laughed and told me that I should learn to embrace my own insanity. I told him the devil is trying to take me, Deepak. I'm a good girl. Haha, I'm a good girl. He said not to worry. Yeah. Deepak is the most influential person in my life. Look it up if you got the time. Lady Gaga enlists spiritual Deepak coach Chopra to get rid of her demons. There you got it. If that is true. Now, they are promoting this meditation. In German, the page of Tagesspiegel, which is the Daily Mirror, something like that, they told, in truth, the Jesuits held a ceremony for Galileo in 1611, praised his discoveries, and put forward a theory of the telescope at the request of Inquisitor Bellarmine. Oh, interesting. Isn't that a Jesuit cardinal, by the way? And propaganda is a congregation of the cardinals. They confirmed the accuracy of the observations, but then why didn't they become Copernicans? Because these observations refuted Ptolemy, but did not necessarily prove Copernicus. Jupiter has moons and is a planet. The Earth has a moon and is therefore also a planet. This is totally BS here. Yeah. But does not have to be. Can be, but does not have to be. They're contradicting themselves in the same sentence. They therefore went over to Tycho Brahe's system. The planets revolve around the sun, but the latter revolve around the Earth. At that time, three systems were competing. It was agreed that the Ptolemaic was the worst because its calculations clashed with the observations that could not solve the calendar debacle of that time. Finally, Galileo himself noticed that the telescope observations did not provide the compelling proof, and he fell for another ebb and flow. If the rhythm of ebb and flow is to result from the daily and annual Earth movement, which is also perfect regular, which is not a movement, it would have to follow the daily rhythm. Galileo actually assumed this and took the 12-hour rhythm of Venice to be a local deviation. Kepler points out to him that the ebb and flow of the tide are related to the course of the moon, which the common people on the North Sea coast knew from time immemorial. Galileo replies that Kepler, still believes in remote powers. What he rejects here later becomes the pillar of Newtonian physics, gravity. Oh, he denies gravity. Oh, he's a good company. I know of a German guy who denies gravity as well. Yeah, that's me. Even before compelling evidence of the movement of the Earth was produced, Copernicanism, so heliocentric once again, gained approval through computational success, first through Kepler's planetary laws. Sure, if you got all the guys together, which have ties to the Roman Catholic Church, more or less, and they're all promoting heliocentrism, then one theory backs the other. But a couple of theories is not proof. This is my comment, quote unquote. So he had to do without the old Platonic requirement to trace these celestial movements back to perfectly uniform circular movements. The planetary orbits can only be calculated exactly as ellipses. Kepler sent his work to Galileo. A friend advised him that Kepler's elliptical orbit could be the solution. Yeah, but the problem is, it wasn't that Kepler's elliptical orbits, or was it Tycho Brahe's elliptical orbits? I don't know. Galileo does not respond. Yeah, that was Kepler in Kepler's biography as well, that Kepler was very, very disappointed that Galileo does not respond. He sticks to the principle of perfect circles, so Galileo. He did not take part in the astronomical arithmetic. When the Jesuits prove against Aristotle that comets are stellar and not atmospherical phenomena, he contradicts them, although he could have measured it. You can't have circular orbits. This time Galileo denies something verifiable on the basis of a theory. Yeah. Maybe not that smart guy, because maybe he didn't know what the doctrine was of that day. Yeah. I have found a book on that regard. It's called Religion and the Senses in Early Modern Europe by Wietse de Boer and Christine Göttler, Intersections, Volume 26. I couldn't get a grasp on that book. I think that might also be a little bit expensive. And I found two test pages. The Return of the Species, Jesuit Responses to Kepler's New Theory of Images. And also these authors here, they said that, you see, the Return of the Species, Jesuit Responses to Kepler's. Yeah, you see there is connections from the Jesuits to science. Sure, of course. Of course there are. There have to be. They have to be. I'm not taking it on this occasion here. The author said, in this chapter, I am concerned with the reasons behind the Jesuit reception of Kepler's theory of vision. It has its place in a book on the early modern senses and religion because I argue that those reasons have ultimately to do with the important role attributed to vision and images in Jesuit spirituality, which has nothing to do with biblical truth, by the way. The core of the difficulties that the Jesuit mathematicians had with Kepler's optics is situated in his new theory of vision and optical imagery. This is not about heliocentrism at the moment. Yeah? But you see, there are many people who are drawing the line from Kepler, for this instance, to the Jesuits, as well as from Galileo to the Jesuits. Yeah? Because you know why. Because the Jesuits had the education system. Officially, 1599, ratio deorum, but unofficially, or in other terms, I have looked it up, I don't know if I have inserted it here, the first school with education the Jesuits took over was in 1547. That is just mere 4 years after the Copernican treatise. 4 years after Copernicus published his work, the Jesuits had their first school. I hate it when that happens, but I cannot remember Copernicus, Nicolaus. What was the name of his book? Here. There was De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelesticum, 1543. Okay, that's it. So I will insert it here or insert it there. Okay, this is 1543. And I know, because I don't know if it is in the script here, Jesuit school, 1547. Hope I get now. Yeah, there you got something. Yeah, we got something. We found something. Oh my, not now. Not that much. Too much information, huh? Trying to blind us with the information here. 1547. Yeah. Ignatius of Loyola persuaded Pope Paul III to issue a bull raising it to a university in 1547. The school at Messina was the true beginning of Jesuit education on December the 17 and 19. Oh, this is the beginning of the of the Roman feast days of Sol Invictus. How appropriate. The Senate of Messina, with the warm endorsement of the Spanish viceroy, because Spain ruled Sicily, sent 2 letters asking Ignatius to establish a school in Messina to teach lay boys, that is, boys not intending to become clergymen. The city promised to provide a residence for the Jesuit, a church, and annual income of 500 scudi, a significant but not overly generous sum. Ignatius accepted the invitation in a letter of January 1547. Yeah, there it is. You see how fast they were moving on. Huh? I call it fast. So this is the source. There you got now the information. 5040, the order was recognized with the papal bull. 1543, Copernicus, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelesticum, so the heliocentric system of Copernicus was being published, and the Jesuits started in December 1547 with the first school. Great, huh?
Talk about a revolution, huh?
Talk about a scientific outlet. Yeah, now we have spoiled that. Is the next coming up subject in the next session. No, but you see, this is why I want to do it a little bit more chronologically, so that actually you see that you come up to the same conclusion as me, as I, and also many listeners. Yeah, and that's the thing of the Jesuits. You see, they have all the backing ups from all the money and the support of the Pope. That's the key to success. If you have the support of the quote-unquote mightiest man on earth, not the most humble man, but the mightiest man on earth, with all the money and all the system of churches and information, you see that every chapel or every church actually is a secret service. It's nothing else but a Secret Service headquarter. People, what they are talking about here in the church, and all this. What's that in? If you repent in front of a pastor, what's it called? You talk all about the sins, like.
Oh yeah, you're talking about getting resolution, or
Yeah.
what is it called again now? Resolution
I don't know
of sins, or a confession, or
a confession. Yeah, confession. Yeah, you see, all the confessions are actually secret. Yeah, you talk to the priest in secret. Yeah, and yeah, you see that he's been bound to his pope, or is bound to his general.
Resolve you of your sin, which is bogus.
Yeah, sure, but you see that the goal is that they are being keeper of many secrets. Yeah, first one party says, oh, I have to go to the priest to be free of sins, and they're tossing, oh God, I have to plan this action against France next Monday, and please forgive my sins. And then, for example, in another diocese, another church, in another country, some Englishman comes up and I said, oh, I've heard there are some French troops, but I have shifted my troops from England to so. And then both of the information is just a thinking here. It's just not happened, but it's just to let you know what my train of thoughts here. Yeah, both informations come up in the hierarchy and will be promoted to the officials, or even at the Pope. I don't know, at the Pope's Secret Service. So they know so much. They know more than any king or queen on the earth. Yeah. One possible answer is that these Jesuit mathematicians were simply not aware of Kepler's optics, or if they were, did not consider it sufficiently important to deserve a response. Yeah. Several historians have argued that Kepler's new theory of optical imagery threatened one central concern of Jesuit mathematicians, the foundation of medical knowledge. Following Christoph Clavius, responsible for the development of the mathematical curriculum at the Collegio Romano, Jesuit mathematicians in various geographical contexts, including the home of etc., argued for the... And then it stopped. Sorry, I cannot solve the riddle. But... it's just so clear that the Jesuits took over the education system, and therefore, officially in 1599 from the Roman Catholic Church, but they promoted science. They promoted science big time. Yeah, and they are on their way to making it, as Peter Gabriel would say. And Isaac Newton later on, he tried to serve with his gravitational laws the physicians' reasoning of the Kepler's laws to support the heliocentrical system. Yeah, and how that has been done, and why it's been done, and what all the things have to do with something else, then I think we have to wait to the next session. We have barely covered 40 pages, once again, in a little bit more of 1 hour. Maybe the next session will be a little bit more longer, but to see all the things which come in the next sessions, you have to realize that we have been tossed around in this world. The mighty and the powerful and the wealthy people, they decide what our children and ourselves are learning in the so-called school system. And yeah, you know as well as me that we are not learning the truth. We are learning doctrinations. We are not learning anything in the Bible nowadays. We are just learning everything else from their science, which took over from the science of the Bible, science so-called. So if you look upon this grandfather clock here, for example, or this old clock, very, very nice one. Yeah. It's just another thing coming up here. Nowadays, they need gravity to prove all the things. Nevertheless, hope it will be of some value for you and your friends and your loved ones. And I thank you for your time. Thank you for bearing with my English. And let's get over to somebody who is far more better in the English language. And this is my beloved brother Brad. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Michael, for your explanations of this science script. And you know, I can't help but think of something in the Bible called double-mindedness. And, you know, if you let the Jesuits into your schools, into your institutions, they will push for little subtle changes that don't seem like a big deal at the time. But when you do accept these teachings, they slowly change over years, and this agenda has been played out for a very, very long time, and here we are in a very precarious time right now in our what can we say, in this world. And you know, I'm thinking of the book of James. In James chapter 1 verse 5, for instance, it says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And then it goes on to say, let the brother of low degree rejoice in that he is exalted, but the rich in that he is made low, because as the flower of the grass he shall pass away. For the sun is no sooner risen with a burning heat, and it withereth the grass, and the flower thereof falleth, and the grace of the fashion of it perish. So also the rich man fade away in his ways. So, Michael, what I understand is Jesuitism is doing nothing but destroying, of course, the very purpose of the Counter-Reformation was to destroy the Reformation and everything that came along with it, including the understanding the Bible gives. So, yeah, let's root ourselves back in the scriptures, because that's where it all comes from. That's where our faith is going to be fully resolved, is in the scripture. It's not anywhere else. So thank you, Michael, for this session. Looking forward to the next one. And I'm very interested to hear what you're going to have to say about these different teachings that we've been taught for all these years, and come to some resolution biblically. And we'll catch up with you then. God bless. Maranatha.